We no longer have Caitlin Clark. She is neither in pain nor relaxed. After discovering just minutes ago that the WNBA had quietly taken her out of the spotlight, fans are going bananas. That's not the most bizarre part, though, because as soon as this became public, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull blew up in a way that nobody could have expected. No longer being quiet or courteous. They didn't think twice, and what they revealed is completely upending the league. There are several issues here besides just one guy being benched. Here, there are issues of power, bias, media manipulation, and Ollie being caught red-handed trying to control its stars. When Sophie and Lexi came forward and told the truth, the internet went crazy. In addition, the current state of affairs could forever change the WNBA. Put on your seatbelts, because this is only the beginning of the story. There was a murmur at first. After that, her name vanished from the starting lineup. At that point, the reporters saw that she was not warming up. No official statement, no report of injuries, nothing. In what fans are referring to as the most bizarre departure in league history, Caitlin Clark, the biggest rookie star in WNBA history, suddenly sidelined herself. In just a few minutes, speculation spread like wildfire. Some sites claimed that it was load management. Disciplinary grounds were mentioned by others. But this is the worst part. These same sources also admitted that something didn't feel quite right. This wasn't your usual benching, so it was a long way off. Caitlin has not violated any rules. She hadn't missed any practice. She had performed admirably. In fact, she was leading her team in points, assists, and headlines. So, why would the WNBA fire the one star who is packing arenas, attracting a ton of new fans, and increasing ratings by himself? Then came the leaks. League sources began to discuss unspoken disagreements between Clark and senior league officials. Her loud style, her inability to keep quiet during post-game interviews, and her growing impact on social media appear to have been disliked by all those in positions of authority. She was no longer only an entertainer. Some CEOs didn't like that she had a voice and a sensation. During a private meeting, Caitlin reportedly protested to league marketing plans, calling them tone-deaf and divorced from actual fans, according to one particularly damaging allegation. Within 48 hours, her minutes started to decrease. In less than 72 hours, she was benched. Now she's all but disappeared. They seemed to be trying to halt her momentum before it got out of control, as there was a cold, quiet blackout. Her team did not issue a statement, hold a press conference, or grant media access. But if the WNBA thought no one would notice, they were totally wrong since fans weren't the only ones who noticed their loudness. On social media, the hashtag #WhereasCaitlin went widespread. Thousands wanted answers. The comment sections were flooded with angry words. NBA players expressed their thoughts as well, calling the behavior calculated, sleazy, and disrespectful to the game. The league's silence made it worse. But stillness was no longer the only problem. It has to do with remaining silent. That's when Sophie Cunningham stepped in, and everything changed. Sophie Cunningham was unreserved. As the media desperately sought answers, and supporters inundated the league's email with outrage, Sophie turned into scorched earth. In a passionate post-game interview, she skipped the usual pleasantries and launched a verbal bomb that stunned everyone. Startled, you don't disregard your biggest star unless you are terrified of her influence. The speed at which that one sentence circulated was beyond the control of the WNBA's public relations department. On all social media, videos of Sophie's bold call went viral. She didn't stop there. On her podcast, Sophie called it revenge. Even during live broadcasts and team meetings, she asserted that players' careers were being manipulated by the WNBA for political ends. She chastised the league for putting control ahead of progress. She also spoke something that most athletes were afraid to say in front of an audience. Clark's benching has nothing to do with basketball. Fans came together to support her right away. Hashtags gave rise to movements. And #FreeClark began to gain popularity at the same time. Her courage took the league by surprise, and the fire spread swiftly. But Sophie wasn't alone for long after Lexi Hull declared that she was also ready for combat. Lexi Hull did not post a statement. She didn't interview anyone. What do you suppose they'll do to the rest of us if they can treat Caitlin Clark this way? After practice, she went into the press room and asked, staring straight into the cameras. That was all. The WNBA was shocked and the audience was silenced by an unfiltered truth bomb that had neither corporate tone or fluff. That one sentence spread like wildfire. The video quickly became popular across all sports, not just WNBA fans. Suddenly, commentators on YouTube and ESPN were asking the same question. What the hell is going on behind closed doors at the WNBA? Lexi wasn't done. In a later post, she shared a black and white photo of herself and Caitlyn with the word loyalty as the description. Many interpretations were sparked by that picture in the locker room. Was she revealing betrayal directed at coworkers or management? No one could be sure, but the time could not be ignored. According to reports, Lexi has been one of the more vocal members of the team since the turmoil started. She confronted the coaching staff directly and asked why the lone player who was attracting sellouts was now on the bench, according to a leaked tale. She apparently had support from her teammates. Rumors of a fracture inside the locker room made headlines overnight. Further, Lexi hinted that players from other clubs have been quietly discussing the matter behind closed doors, off the record, and under growing pressure to remain silent. She is reportedly helping to build a coalition of younger players who feel that the league is bogged down in antiquated politics and who fear losing everything if they speak up. Then came the enigmatic tweets. Lexi once said, "If you want to build a legacy, stop silencing the ones who create it." Fans snapped screenshots of it right away. On Reddit, TikTok, and fan pages, it went viral. Many believe it was aimed directly at WNBA executives. Some others think it was meant for media figures who were trying to downplay the disaster. However, there was one thing that everyone agreed upon. Lexi wasn't just answering. They were taking a stand together. Sophie and Lexi had just formed a front line. There was now a full-fledged uprising against the league. However, the supporters weren't just silently observing as the players spoke up. They had already begun their own online rebellion. As soon as Sophie and Lexi spoke, the supporters began to converse. Rather of just talking, they screamed. On Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, everything went insane. Hashtags like #JusticeForClark, #FreeCaitlyn, and #StopSilencingStars erupted in real time. Sports forums were overflowing. Angry comments flooded WNBA posts. And because of the extensive online dissemination of the story, the league was unable to dismiss it in less than a day. Proof timestamps, videos, quotations, and side-by-side comparisons of player treatment started to accumulate among fans. Several people said that Caitlyn was being shoved during games without being called. Despite her exceptional efforts, some pointed out the odd drop in her minutes. In freeze frames, referees were seen ignoring blatant fouls. Fans even made claims after observing how Clark's coverage on WNBA's social media sites has declined recently. But the WNBA's official answer was a cool, collected statement.